Hello everybody, welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program video. In today's video, I'm going to be recreating the top 10 largest rockets by payload capacity in Kerbal Space Program, and we are already starting on launch number 1, or rocket number 1, which is the Space Shuttle, coming in the 10th place, like I said, carrying a total of 24.4 metric tons to low Earth orbit as its maximum payload capacity. We are right off the ground with the Space Shuttle now, going to be starting our pitch over maneuver through around 10 kilometers, getting ready for SRB separation in the next around 10 seconds, and then we can continue on up to orbit. So for today's video, the requirements are that the rocket must have been built. There is no requirement to fly because loopholes, because I want to include a certain rocket that totally is built, as of 2 days ago, is totally 100% built. Just needs to get stacked. So yeah, Space Shuttle coming in the last place actually. It's the 10th, well not last, but like last of the best, right? This is the 10th biggest rocket in terms of payload capacity. I'm not including the orbiter as part of the payload. If you include the orbiter as part of the payload, then it gets a bit higher on the list, right? So, which is why you're going to see the Energia and the Buran a little bit higher on the list, because the Buran is actually a separate payload than the Energia, which Soviet Union, right? So here we are now coming in for the Space Shuttle's re-entry and landing back at the Kerbal Space Center runway. Kerbal Space, kind of weird, but here we go. Coming in for a landing now to complete our very first mission of the 10 today. So yeah, so Space Shuttles are great craft. I really like flying them in KSP. They're fun to land, they're fun to do stuff with as we come in through heating. And if you think I have a fun channel segue, right, you can smash the good old subscribe button. I don't know if you want to. We're getting close to 10k subs, so that's pretty epic. Much wow, right? You know, notification bell. I don't know. Am I supposed to be plugging that? I don't know if that's the thing that you're supposed to do. I know it was a big thing a few years ago. There is a join button. We have a Patreon. We have an epic pro gamer Discord, and I stream a lot, so you know you can check those out and comment and algorithms. Thank you. We are getting close to 10k subs, so that is really, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. As the Space Shuttle is now coming through peak heating now, and it's just about to start flat spinning basically on top of the runway, which is basically how I do orbit Space Shuttles. I just like come in aerodynamically, and then I just try and like spin them out directly over the KSC and try and just lose all their horizontal speed, and then just like drop basically straight down onto the runway. So gonna disable the RCS because we're lower enough in the atmosphere that the control surfaces can do most of the work. I was assuming wrongly. Then they finally actually do turn them off there at the end. I'm going to do a not so subtle quick save and quick load because, yeah, I didn't get this landing first try. I know I'm the worst shuttle pilot of all time, as we are now coming in for a landing back on the runway. And mind the lag spike, there is, yeah, there's just kind of a random Starship just hanging out on the end of the runway. I don't know, don't at me. You can at me about that buttery landing. Oh my gosh, so much butter. And then we kind of do like a little bit of a drift here to end out the Space Shuttle. Now we can move on to the 9th place is the Energia 5 rocket, coming in at 24.5 tons. If you didn't know, the Space Shuttle was, 24.4 Space Shuttle. This one's 24.5. So like this guy is barely beating out the Space Shuttle to be the 9th most awesomest rocket ever. Yes, the Energia 5 has launched one time, I believe. It's a pretty new rocket made by the Mother Russia. And it is kind of similar to the Proton. It's, I believe, it is kind of similar to Proton. And it basically follows the Russian design. You know, you have the boosters, and then you have the core stage, and then you have the upper stage, you know. So that's kind of how Russian craft work. And here comes our booster separation in 3, 2, 1. Booster sep, there we go. Now I'm going to be burning the core stage for a few more seconds, and then we're going to be separating it. And then it's going to be time for the upper stage, and then payload deployment of our amazing payload. Because what do you think our payload is? Mr. Banana Man. Hey, Mr. Banana Man. If you don't know who if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying. Hopefully I'm not the worst person. I probably am. My voice is probably super annoying. But Mr. Banana Man's kind of our running joke here, where we fly bananas all over the place for no good reason. That's Mr. Banana Man, and yeah, I don't know why. Bananas are the big funny. So there we go. We can deploy Mr. Banana Man, and he'll hang out in orbit. And that was a quick one for number 9. Now in number 8, coming in at 25 tons, is China's contribution to today's video, the Long March 5. Long March 5 is China's most powerful rocket. Not for long, though. They're building a lot like Long March 9 and 8. I don't remember which one's the big one, but they're building some new big rockets, but they're not going to be coming up for actually quite a while. So Long March 5 is China's current biggest vehicle, and it can bring 25 tons to low Earth orbit. And it is also going to be getting ready to stage its boosters. A lot of boosters in today's video. I think it's actually really cool seeing all the different designs for all the heavy lift vehicles and the super heavy lift vehicles. It's kind of cool seeing how different countries and different companies approach the design. At least I think that's pretty dope. So, getting our way into orbit now, firing the core stage. Gonna get ready to separate that in just a few seconds, and then we get ready to fire the fairing and then the upper stage. Payload today is the Tianwen-1 mission rover thingy. I built this for a video a while ago, so I just decided to leave the same payload in. You know, it's a video where I recreated all of the rover vehicles. It's actually one of my most popular videos. So thank you guys for smashing the click button and not, you know, I guess, you know, it's click-through rate and view duration is what determines how well a video does. So, and there we go. You can see the poodle engine is getting nice and toasty. You can see the nice little warm, the little red effect on the bells. But there we go. On our way to orbit, then we're going to circularize, and then we are going to move on to our next rocket. I wonder what it could be. I wonder what it very could be. And this is the next rocket is where we're going to start getting into the gray area here. Probably where I get yelled at in the comment section about the requirements for my list. So as we circularize, I will unveil our next rocket. Vulcan! Kind of bad Vulcan recreation. I made this on stream a while ago. Vulcans are really... I don't know why. I can't figure out how to do a Vulcan. I don't know. Is that good? Is that... Anyway, Vulcan. So, Vulcan is on this list, but New Glenn is not. So, why Vulcan but not New Glenn? So, I'm basically talking the entire Vulcan launch probably about my whole requirement thing. My whole, you know, what to include and what not to include. And then I can get yelled at probably. Welcome to the internet. I said anything that is built counts, right? So anything that's built. N1, no N1, right? Because the N1 blew up. It failed, right? It was built, but it blew up, so it got unbuilt, right? Its status as being built was removed, right? There's my logic for that. But with the arrival of the BE-4 engines from Blue Origin not that long ago, all the components of the Vulcan are there, right? So the core stage is built, the Centaurs, they have like 1 million Centaurs, and then the SRBs, you know, they're SRBs, and they just got the engine from the BE-4s from Blue Origin. So that is basically a rocket, they just have to assemble it. So, in retrospect, if, like, in the future, if Vulcan were to go launch and blow up a bunch of times to get canceled, then it would be able to be removed from this list, and this video would be just wrong and weird requirements. But that is how this is working, is we are now getting a range, or that's basically my logic. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but I kind of had to draw a line, and there's kind of a lot of gray area, and yeah. Because there's, like, so many new big rockets being built, it'd be kind of weird, because I feel like this list would get outdated super quick if I just don't include all the new ones. So that's really why I'm doing it, because, you know, they're not here yet, but there's like 3 of them coming out this year, right? So, speaking of big rockets, Delta IV Heavy is our next one on the list. We're starting to get into the more interesting rockets now. More interesting rockets. So Delta IV Heavy is coming up now into the sky. I'm going to start its pitch over maneuver. Yeah, the big orange guy is the big old orange guy. Not the only big orange guy on this list, but yeah, now we're going to get into the cool rockets and some of them that can start landing themselves, right? So Delta IV Heavy coming in the 6th place, I can count, with a payload capacity of 28.79 tons to low Earth orbit. Delta IV Heavy doesn't do, like, super great for LEO, but where Delta IV Heavy really shines is in GEO, or geostationary transfer orbit, because it has that super efficient Delta cryogenic second stage, which is super efficient and very efficient. And because it's a ULA rocket, and they are the big boring, ULA is the big boring. Sorry if you're watching Tori Bruno, I don't know. Would be cool, would be cool if he's watching me. I don't know. Am I good enough to be watched by ULA CEO? Probably not, but we're gonna do an ore tank as our payload for today, because on the ULA rockets, because the ULA rockets are the big boring and they do the big boring payload. I'm not saying Delta IV is a boring rocket, but like ULA, SpaceX for their test flights puts Tesla in rocket. ULA for their test flights puts big block of stone, which is actually what they actually do. So, That is why orange tank is on there. It actually makes sense. I don't know what's with the Russian accent. But once the Delta IV Heavy does circularize, you're going to be able to move on to the middle and the 5th place, which I think you guys will think is a really cool rocket, so do stay tuned for that. It is a cool rocket. It's Delta IV Heavy's prime competitor. I think you know where we're going here. I think you know. I think I'm spoiling it. Oh my gosh, guys. You'd have to get out of the atmosphere. We were a little bit too flat on the Delta IV Heavy, so we just kind of have to like, come on, you can do it. We can do it, you know. That's okay. We have to get out of timer so we can, out of the atmosphere so we can non-physical time warp and actually get trap laps and circularize, and then we can get ourselves into an orbit and get ready to crossfade over to the Falcon Heavy, the lag heavy, the lag. We'll get the time lapse going in just seconds so you don't have to deal with all the lag. So much lag, so much Falcon Heavy. So Falcon Heavy is coming in the 5th place with a total payload capacity in fully reused mode of 38 tons. It could bring like almost 70 tons if you fully expend it, which would make it a super heavy launch vehicle, which is anything that can carry over 50 tons. So starting to get to the bigger boys here. So pitching over with the Falcon Heavy, and we're going to be getting ready to cut the side cores in just a few seconds so they can do their boost back burns and landing burns. So the side cores are gone. We can get the booster cam up right now as they can do their boost back burns and come in for their epic landings. So there we go, boost back shutdown on both engines, both thingies. And the way a Falcon Heavy works for the landing burns is it goes, it initially relates 1 engine for the landing burn, and then it goes to 3 engines, and then back down to 1 as the core stage, yes, the core stage has been separated and is also doing its boost back burn. Yes, we are doing a triple boost back burn today because I like triple boost back burns because then I don't have to get a drone ship, and landing on drone ships is much harder than doing boost back burns. Boost back, blah, blah. Fun word to say. So, 2 side cores coming in for their landings right about now. And yeah, they're landing about the same time. There was any lag spikes during that, but you do. So now we're going to unveil the payload as the 2 side cores are going to come in for the landing for our Falcon Heavy, which is like this weird little space station module looking thing. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Just so that there's our payload, and there we are. We are now in orbit almost basically, and our boost center core hasn't landed, so it's kind of weird. We're already in orbit and the center core isn't down, so we can just go ahead and full screen the center core as it relights its 1 engine, lights the 3, and then it's going to drop down to 1 engine in just 1 moment for the final part of the landing burn. Payload wasn't too heavy, so we have loads of extra Delta V to spare for this landing. So coming in and touchdown! Alright, hello, coming in to the 4th place, which is the Space Launch System, or the SLS, with a total payload capacity of 95 tons. 95 tons, yes, this is the SLS Block 1. So it was just the lowest payload capacity of the SLSs, but Block 2 it's a while away in Block 1B. So I'm going to start our pitch over maneuver, throttling down for max Q, and then we're going to throttle back up in just 1 moment, and there we go. And continuing on into the orbiter to get ready for SRB separation just a few seconds, and then it's going to be the massive core stage. Just, yeah, the core stage is big. SLS core stage is cool, even though it's so basic. Super Heavy is basically as big as the SLS core stage, which is pretty wacky to think about, because the SLS core stage is huge, man. So core stage is going to get us the rest of the way into orbit, and then we are going to we're going to go to going to do the Artemis, right? It's Artemis, guys. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I felt kind of weird just ending the SLS segment right there, because you know the interim cryogenic propulsion stage is, you know, it's part of SLS and it has some role to do. So we're going to just kind of like skip through a quick little mission here to the Gateway Station and dock, and then we'll head back. And hey, it's Gateway! Hello, Gateway! And here we are. And we don't actually have a lander. The Blue Origin lander is there, but it's only the upper stage, so we can't even land on the moon. So we're just gonna head right back and crossfade over to our landing of the Orion capsule, and then we can get ready to move on to the 3rd place, which is actually pretty surprising that this vehicle actually managed to get in 3rd place. But it is the awkward silence. Energia! Yes, the Energia coming in with 5 tons more than the SLS. Energia, 100 tons of payload capacity, and it is going to be launching Buran as its payload today. Yes, the Energia was unique in the fact that it was the complete ripoff of the Space Shuttle, which, yeah, that's the other unique thing. Mother Russia is is the fact that the Energia was a standalone rocket, while the space shuttle was its own, like, it was a system that kind of couldn't, like, launch other payloads, right? The Energia could launch other payloads, but the Brienne, it launched twice. One time it launched, like, some military satellite plane missile thing, and then, which crashed. You know, it's actually kind of funny story. Scott Manley and Every Astronaut have videos and crap on it. But the Brienne is the other launch that it did, and it's like the Soviet space shuttle. So I'm gonna get ready to I was gonna say detonate, jettison the I don't know, probably don't want to blow them up, but jettison these side boosters, and now it's just the core fuel tank burning as the thing can get its way into orbit. Energy is a really cool rocket, or unless it's pronounced like Energia and Energia. I don't know. I'm not Russian. I am Polish. I make this joke all the time in stream. I'm from all the countries that got invaded in World War II. So I'm like Czech, Dutch, and Polish are my biggest three that I'm from, and they all got invaded. And then Czech and Poland subsequently then got occupied by the USSR after the war. So yeah, just not doing great on the whole not getting invaded front. So I don't know. Great ancestry. I don't know if that's bad luck. Maybe I'm going to get invaded. I don't know if it doesn't make any sense. But the Uran is now coming in for its landing. It's landing, yes sir. We are in Mother Russia here. Superior Soviet Russia. So in Soviet Russia, we do not know what a flare is. So we just kind of Ryanair it onto the ground here. You'll see in just a second. So here we go. Ooh, it's looking good, and then just plop. Yeah. Better than a Matt Lown landing. Oh, shade thrown. Oh my gosh, guys. I wonder if Matt Lown's ever seen one of my videos. Hey, Matt, if you're watching, you should comment. We should collab. Matt. We should. All right, here we are. Coming into the second place. No surprises here. Or maybe some people thought it would be first. Maybe there is some surprises. Saturn V. 50-year-old rocket. It is still the most powerful, the most biggest payload capacity rocket that has ever successfully made orbit. With 140 tons of payload capacity, the Saturn V it's a pretty chunky boy here. So I don't believe it's ever launched that much payload, because actually it might have had, I don't know, because it had a launch to TLI, right? So the Apollo thing is much later. I don't remember how much Skylab weighed. I don't think it was 140 tons. So there goes the bottom stage, and now we're gonna get ready to this middle stage burn. Second stage, there goes launch escape system, because it's gonna be burning for a nice long time. Saturn V is such a cool rocket. It's kind of crazy that 50 years later we're really close to beating its payload capacity and launching all the big boy rockets, but we hadn't actually made anything bigger than this in a long time. So Saturn V has really kind of stood the test of time, except for it can't really land itself, which rockets are kind of starting to do now. That's kind of the new hip thing. That's what the kids are doing these days. They're landing the rockets. So there goes the second stage. Now it's the S4B stage by firing as we get our way into an orbit. We're just going to kind of like speed run through an Apollo mission here, because it's Apollo mission. So there is our realignment, there's our insertion, and there's our lander detachment, followed by our lander landing on the surface of the moon, because you can't pass up an Apollo mission, because Apollo missions are so much fun. That's a bad lander. I need to make a better lander. You know, I mean, a better Apollo lander. That one's kind of bad. But either way, coming on into the landing in like I've lost my touchdown. Untouchdown. The Mun Cave. Yeah, the cave, right? Canyon. That's the word I'm looking for. Canyon. But docking. Kerbal. Landing. So much fast I can't even keep up. I can't keep up my own editing. I don't know, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I need to start recording these commentaries not in the middle of the night. I don't know, it's just when I'm not lazy. I don't know, my sleep schedule is so wonkers. See, I can't even speak! But here we are on the ground, and now it is time for the final vehicle. And who's surprised, dear? Starship, with a pretty nuts payload capacity of 150 tons, has just lifted off the pad. Not only could this thing bring 150 tons to low Earth orbit, it is also 100% fully reusable. So we're going to be detaching Super Heavy here in just a little bit, and then we will be going to catch Super Heavy on our little catch tower thing, which, if you don't know, is a thing I can do now, because we did some streaming, more stuff we did on stream. We made a catch tower thing. So here comes Super Heavy, and there goes attachment, and here comes Booster Cam as it does its good old boost back burn, and we'll be landing very, very shortly. I'm pretty sure Starship is going to do 150 tons. I bet Starship could even do maybe more than 150 tons to orbit because, you know, Elon, he does some pretty nuts stuff. So, Starship's on its way up now. Starship's gonna be amazing when he goes to orbit. I can't wait. July 1st, right? I don't know. Maybe by the time, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how well this video dates itself. You know, it'd be funny if for like 2 years Starship still is just hanging out and get one hop. But here we go. Soooo Super Heavy. We're not using McJeb or anything. We're doing the good old manual flying here. So, I'm just gonna like maneuver ourselves over towards our catchy tower. It's kind of janky, and we barely have enough fuel to do it, but we do, as we do manage to just eke out enough fuel as we just drop ourselves in the heavy tower, and there it is. The booster tower, but there it is. And now for the final portion of today's video, the all-important Starship landing, which is just so much fun. I can't ever get enough Starship landings. Like, I got this landing, and then I just did like 10 more just for fun after while recording this video. It was just too much fun, Starship's fun. So, and they come in, and it's always like, I don't know, where is he going to land it today? Because we have landed Starships now between streams and videos on the VAB helipad, the helipad on like the administrative building, I think, or whatever it's called. We've also landed on the tracking station. So where are we going today? Where are we going to try and plop the Starship down today? We are going to be plopping it down on the launch pad. So, going to be coming now in for our belly flap maneuver. Going to be lighting all 3 engines and then dropping down to 2 engines for the final landing burn as we can get ready to relight those engines in just one moment. And 1, 2, 3, 3 good engines, flipping it upright and getting ready to drop that engine. There you go. Now just burning 2 engines as the landing legs come down. Just going to be controlling the throttle now, trying to get the thing maneuvered directly on top of the launch pad while also descending. Don't have a whole lot of fuel, so going to try and get down as quickly as possible, try to be efficient. And here we go, just a few meters off the ground and getting ready for good old touchdown and touchdown! A little bit firm, but that is Starship down, and that's the end of today's video. Hope you enjoyed. On screen now is all of the members who thanks to you guys, and now is the Patreons. Also thanks to you guys. That's going to be it for me today. I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, please rate or comment to the video once again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and bye.